Hello friends, this is Dr. P.R. Chaudhary from KKV College of Agriculture, Nasik. Today we are going to study about packaging of food products under the course Post-Harvest Management and Value Addition of Fruits and Vegetables, course number HALT 366. Let us first understand different types of packaging. Packaging can be broadly classified into three types: primary packaging, secondary packaging and tertiary packaging. In primary packaging, it includes a container or a covering that will hold the product together, or the covering or the container will come in direct contact with the food item. In secondary packaging, it consists of outer wrapping that will assist in displaying, storing, shipping and protecting products. Whereas tertiary packaging is the combining of products for storage or further transport. Now let us see the example here below. On the left side you have your mango candy. In this case, the outer covering or the wrap of the candy becomes your primary packaging since it comes in direct contact with your candy. Secondary packaging will be a bag or a bottle containing the candies together. So this helps in storing, displaying the product. It becomes your secondary container or secondary packaging. And third is your tertiary packaging. Here you have a corrugated fiberboard box which will contain all the bags of your mango candy, so that it becomes easy for them to store it and transport it to different markets. On right hand side you can see a can of peas. In this case the can becomes your primary packaging container since it is direct contact with the food. Secondary packaging here will be corrugated box containing cans of peas packed together, whereas tertiary packaging will be all different corrugated boxes packed together so that they can be now transported or stored for different marketplaces. Package design and constructions play a significant role in determining the shelf life of food product. The right selection of packaging material and technology maintain product quality and freshness during distribution and storage. Now let us look at the general requirements of food package and the functions they provide. The package should be non-toxic and compatible with specific food which is going to be packed. They should provide sanitary protection against microorganism or insect. The moisture and fat in the produce should be protected from outside environment. Gas and odor of the produce should be retained. Package also should provide light protection, specifically in case of light sensitive food products. It should provide resistance to impact so that if the produce falls down, it doesn't get damaged. Certain packets also provide transparency so that the food items become visible to the consumer and it becomes easy for purchasing. All food packages should provide tamper proofness so that any adulteration can be identified immediately. They should have ease of opening, pouring features in case of liquid items, and resealing features so that if the packet is opened once, it can again be resealed and protected from outside environment. Packages should also be easily disposable or recycled. They should be available in different size, shape and weight. Also, appearance and printability play important role in determining the food packaging. In addition, packaging should be of low cost, and in certain cases they can provide special features so that they have edge over the competitors. There are various types of materials which are used in food packaging, namely glass, metal, plastic, paper and fiberboard. In metal, aluminium foil, tin plate and laminates are used. Various types of plastics have been introduced in both rigid and flexible form for food packaging. They include polyolefins, polyester, polyvinyl chloride, polystyrene, etc. Paper is also used for packaging, and it can be classified into paper, paperboard, and laminates. The first material which is used in food packaging is glass. We have already studied glass under the chapter canning of food products. Glass containers such as bottles, jars are used for food packaging. There are various advantages for using glass. It is odorless and chemically inert with virtually all food products. Therefore, it does not contaminate the contents. It is impermeable to gases and vapors. Therefore, it maintains the product freshness for a longer period of time without impairing the taste or flavor. It has ability to withstand high processing temperature, thus making it useful for heat sterilization for both low acid and high acid food. Glass is rigid and provides good insulation. In addition, it can be produced in various different shapes. The transparency of glass also allows consumer to view the product, and there are various variations in glass color which can protect the light sensitive contents. Glass packaging also benefits the environment as it is reusable and cyclable. However, there are certain disadvantages in using glass. Despite efforts to use thinner glass, it is heavy in weight and adds to the transportation cost. Another concern is the brittleness and susceptibility to breakage from external pressure, impact, or thermal shock. Therefore, being fragile, it requires extra care during handling and processing. As compared to other materials, glass is high in cost, and it cannot be used for frozen products due to the risk of breakage. The next material used in food packaging is metal, which includes aluminum foil, tin plate, and laminates and metallized films. Aluminum is commonly used to make cans, foil, laminated paper, or plastic packaging. Aluminum is usually lightweight, silvery white metal derived from bauxite ore, where it exists in combination with oxygen as aluminium. Pure aluminum is used for light packaging of soft drink cans, pet food, seafood, and pre-threaded closures. There are various advantages of using aluminum, as it is highly resistant to most forms of corrosion. It has natural coating of aluminum oxide, which provides a highly effective barrier to effects of air, temperature, moisture, odors, light, microorganisms, and chemical attack. In addition, aluminum has good flexibility and surface resilience, excellent malleability and formability, and outstanding embossing potential. It is also ideal material for recycling because it is easy to reclaim and process it into new products. However, it has certain disadvantages such as its high cost as compared to other metals, example steel. Also, its inability to be welded renders it useful only for making seamless containers. That means it cannot be used for making joint containers. The next metal packaging material commonly used is aluminum foil. Aluminum foil is made by rolling pure aluminum metal into thin sheets followed by annealing to achieve dead folding properties. That means if a crease or fold is made in the film, it will stay in place. This allows it to be folded tightly. There are several advantages of aluminum foil. It is available in wide range of thickness, with thinner foils used for wrapping food and thicker foils are commonly used for making food trays or food containers. Aluminum foil also provides an excellent barrier to your moisture, air, odors, light, and microorganisms. It is inert to most of the acidic foods and therefore does not require lacquer or any other protection. We have commonly seen various food trays of aluminum foil or covering of aluminum foil used to wrap food items. However, there are certain disadvantages. Foils cannot be recycled without getting a pinhole formation in the thin sheets. The next metal packaging material commonly used is tin plate. Tin plate is produced from low carbon steel black plate with thin layers of tin coating both sides. The coating is achieved by dipping sheets of steel in molten tin or by the electrode deposition of tin on the steel sheet. Although tin provides steel with some corrosion resistance, tin plate containers are often lacquered to provide an inert barrier between the metal and the food product. Tin plate is widely used to form cans for drinks, processed food, aerosols, containers for powdered foods and sugar or flour-based confectioneries, and as package closures. There are various advantages of tin plate. It provides excellent barrier properties to gases, water vapor, light, and odors. Tin plate can be heat treated and sealed hermetically, making it suitable for sterile products. Because it has good ductility and formability, tin plate can be used for containers of different sizes and shapes. Tin plate is an excellent substrate for modern metal coating and lithoprinting technology, enabling outstanding graphical decoration. It is relatively low weight and has high mechanical strength, making it easy to ship and store. Also, tin plate is easily recycled many times without loss of quality, and therefore it's significantly lower in cost. There are few disadvantages of using tin plate. First is the contents are not clearly visible in tin plate, and there are chances of contaminating the content inside the tin plate container. Next, we'll study laminates and metallized films. Laminates can be prepared by binding of aluminum foil to paper or plastic film, which helps to improve the barrier properties. Although lamination to plastic enables heat sealability, the seal does not completely bar moisture and air. It is usually expensive and therefore is used only to package high value foods such as dried soup, herbs, and spices. There is a less expensive alternative method, which is metallized films. This we have observed commonly into various kinds of snacks, food product which we eat regularly. Metallized films are plastic containing a thin layer of aluminum metal. This film also have improved barrier properties to moisture, oil, air, and odors, and the highly reflective surface of aluminum is attractive to the consumers. They are more flexible than laminated films and are commonly used for your packaged snacks. Although the individual components of laminates and metallized films are technically recyclable, the difficulty in sorting and separating the material precludes economically feasible recycling. The next packaging material is plastic. It is most commonly used and is replacing the traditional packaging materials like glass and metal. There are various types of plastic available for packaging of food products. The main categories are polyolefins, which include polyethylene and polypropylene, polyesters, which include polyethylene terephthalate, polycarbonate, and polyethylene naphthalate. Then we have polyvinyl chloride, polyvinylidene chloride, polystyrene or styrofoam, and last are laminates and co-extrusions. Polyolefins include mainly polyethylene and polypropylene, which are most commonly used plastics in food packaging. You may have used them in your day-to-day life. They both possess flexibility, strength, lightness, stability, moisture and chemical resistance, and easy processability. They are also suited for recycling and reuse. Example, they include polyethylene bags, milk cartons, or snacks covering, etc. Polyethylene is one of the simplest and most inexpensive plastic, which is made by addition polymerization of ethylene. There are two types of polyethylene available: high density polyethylene and low density polyethylene. The easy way to distinguish them is high density polyethylene is usually stiff and not transparent, whereas low density polyethylene is flexible and transparent. Now let us look into high density polyethylene. It is stiff, strong, tough, resistant to chemical as well as moisture, permeable to gas, easy to process and easy to form. It is commonly used for making bottles of milk, juice, water, or for cereal box liners, butter and margarine tubs, as well as bags used for grocery, trash and retail. On the other hand, low density polyethylene, which is flexible, is also strong, tough, easy to seal and is resistant to moisture but not chemicals. It is relatively transparent, so it can be used for film application and in application where heat sealing is necessary. It is commonly used in your bread packaging, frozen food bags, flexible lids, squeezable food bottles, etc. Most of the packaging using transparent film is made up of low density polyethylene. Polypropylene is another type of polyolefin. It is usually stiff but less brittle than other plastics. It can be made into translucent, opaque or different colors. It usually has high melting point, therefore it is microwave safe. Usually it is used for packaging of yogurt, that is curd containers, syrup containers, cream cheese or butter containers and medicine bottles. It is also recyclable. The next group of plastics are polyesters. They include polyethylene terephthalate, that is PET, polycarbonate and polyethylene naphthalate. Out of this, we are only going to study today polyethylene terephthalate because this is the most commonly used polyester in your food packaging. You must have seen this in your drinking water bottles available in the market or the cold drinks bottle, soda bottles available in the market. Polyethylene terephthalate PET is formed when terephthalic acid reacts with ethylene glycol. There are major three packing applications of PET. They are containers such as your bottles, jars and tubs. Second is your semi-rigid sheets for thermoforming. Examples are your trays and blisters. And third is thin oriented films, bags of snack food and wrappers. PET provides a good barrier to gases including oxygen and carbon dioxide as well as moisture. It has good resistance to heat, different mineral oils, solvents, acid, but it is not having resistance towards your bases. As we all know, it has glass-like transparency and it also has adequate gas barrier for retention of carbonation. That's why it is commonly used for your carbonated drinks. In addition, it is lightweight and it is shatter resistance. That means even if the bottle falls, it will not break easily. PET exists both as amorphous, that is transparent, and semi-crystalline, that is opaque and white thermoplastic material. Amorphous PET has better ductility but less stiffness and hardness as compared to your semi-crystalline PET, which has good strength, ductility, stiffness and hardness. The next type of plastic is polyvinyl chloride, which is a versatile packaging material. It is heavy, stiff, ductile and a medium strong amorphous transparent material. We must have seen this usually in packaging films on vegetables, fruits as well as packaging trays. It has excellent resistance to chemicals including both acid and bases, grease and oil, and it has good flow characteristics. This is especially useful for piping materials. If the pipes are made up of PVC, the water flow or the liquid flow is smooth because of the finishing of the inside of the pipe. Also, it has stable electrical properties. PVC is primarily used in medical and other non-food applications, but it can also be used for food packaging, which includes preparing bottles and packaging films. PVC has certain properties such as it can include abundant oxygen permeability, it has excellent elastic memory so that the packaging can remain tight, it has outstanding optics, meaning it has low haze, that is clear visibility, and gloss. Also, it has good sealability, which helps in rapid in-store packaging. However, PVC is very difficult to recycle, and even incineration or burning of PVC causes environmental problems because of its high chlorine content. Polystyrene is one of the earliest commercially available commodity plastics. It is very versatile material because of the ease with which it combines with other polymers to give desired properties. Regular polystyrene is clear, hard and brittle with a relatively low melting point. This you can have observed in your CD cases, which is clear plastic but it is very brittle. Whereas foaming produces an opaque, rigid, lightweight material with impact protection and thermal insulation properties. This type of polystyrene is also known as expandable polystyrene. This means you use thermocol in your daily life, that is nothing but your expandable polystyrene. It is also known as styrofoam. Uses of polystyrene is protective packaging such as egg cartons, disposable plastic and silverware, containers of styrofoam, lids, cups, plates, bottles and food trays. In expanded form, it can also be used for non-food packaging and cushioning. Example, in transportation we usually see styrofoam or thermocol is used as a cushioning material so that the produce doesn't get damaged during transportation. Polystyrene can be recycled or incinerated, that is burnt. The last type of plastics which we are going to study are laminates and co-extrusions. In this method, two different materials are combined together so that their beneficial properties can be utilized in packaging. There are two methods of combining plastic. First is lamination and second is co-extrusion. In lamination, two different plastics or two different materials are bonded together. Example, plastic can be bonded with another plastic or any other material such as paper, which will make it as a paper laminate, or aluminium metal, which will make it as a metal laminate. Whereas in co-extrusion, two or more layers of molten plastics are combined during the film manufacturing. Because both the methods combine multiple materials, recycling becomes complicated. However, combining material results in additive advantage of properties of each individual material. In this slide, we are going to study the different codes given for the plastics and their recyclability. You may have always noticed at the bottom of the plastic container, it usually has a symbol and a number given to it. This defines the type of plastic used and how it can be recycled. The code number 1 is given for PET plastic, 2 is given for high density polyethylene, 3 is given for polyvinyl chloride, 4 is given for low density polyethylene, 5 is given for polypropylene, 6 to polystyrene, and 7 includes other types of plastics such as polycarbonate. Now PET plastics are most commonly used for your plastic bottles and cold drinks. They are recyclable. However, they are intended for single use application because repeated use increases the risk of bacterial growth and leaching of carcinogens. High density polyethylene is most commonly recycled plastic and is considered one of the safest forms of plastic. The products of high density polyethylene can be recycled and reused again. Polyvinyl chloride is usually dubbed as the poison plastic because it contains numerous toxins which it can leach throughout its life cycle. PVC plastic is also not recyclable and it cannot be reused again. Low density polyethylene is considered less toxic than other plastic and is relatively safe for use. It is also recyclable and reusable. Polypropylene is recyclable and is also considered safe for reuse. In addition, it has high heat resistance, therefore it is microwave safe. Next is polystyrene. Usually polystyrene is structurally weak and ultra light in weight, therefore it breaks up easily and is dispersed readily throughout the environment. Therefore it is not recommended and is usually banned for using polystyrene. In addition, it leaches styrene, which is a human carcinogen, into food products when they are heated in microwave. It is not recommended for reusing and it is not easily recycled. And the last type is your other types of plastics, which include polycarbonate or plastic containing BPA, that is bisphenol A. This type of plastics cannot be reused and they are not easy to recycle. Overall, if you see, plastic code number 4 and 5 are safest for reusing, whereas 1, 3, 6 and 7 are more prone to chemical leaching and are not suitable for reuse. The last type of material used for packaging are paper, paperboard and paper laminates. Paper can be used in food packaging, however, it has poor barrier properties and it is not heat sealable. When paper is used as a primary packaging material, it always has to be treated, coated, laminated or impregnated with materials such as waxes, resins, lacquers so that to improve the functional and protective properties. Different types of papers are used in food packaging such as craft paper, that is your brown bag, sulfite paper, grease-proof bags, glassine, parchment paper, etc. Paperboard are usually thicker than paper with a higher weight per unit area and are often prepared by multiple layers. They are mainly used as containers for shipping such as boxes, carton, trays and usually do not come in direct contact with food. There are various types of paperboard such as whiteboard, solid board, chipboard and fiberboard. Usually fiberboard is classified into two types, solid fiberboard and corrugated fiberboard. The solid type has an inner white board layer and outer brown craft layer and it provides good protection against impact and compression. When laminated with plastic or aluminium, solid fiberboard can also improve barrier properties and can be then used to pack dry food products such as coffee and milk powder. Example, you have seen solid fiberboard in case of cake boxes or pizza boxes. Corrugated fiberboard is usually made of two layers of craft paper with a central corrugating or fluting material. If you see here right side, the inside material is the fluting material. This helps to increase the impact resistance. So resistance to impact, abrasion, crushing damage is high in case of fiberboard and thus it makes it widely suitable for shipping bulk food and in case packaging of retail food products. And the last type of food packaging material is paper laminates. As we studied the other two types of laminates such as metal laminates and plastic laminates, in same way paper laminates are combined with two different materials. They are coated or uncoated papers based on kraft and sulfite pulp. They can be laminated with plastic or aluminium to increase their properties. Lamination with polyethylene makes them heat sealable and also improves their gas and moisture barrier properties. Usually they can be used for packaging of dried products such as soups, herbs and spices. However, lamination increases the cost of paper and packaging. So we have completed different materials which are used for food packaging. Now let us look into the regulations which we have to follow while labeling the food package. So as per the Indian regulation, a food label must include the product name and the category of food. There should be an ingredient list in descending order of the weight. You should also include a logo for vegetarian or non-vegetarian food. Vegetarian food has a green dot as a logo, non-vegetarian food has a red or brownish dot as logo. Various nutrition facts should be included which should have energy, protein, carbohydrate and fat information. The shelf life of the product such as the use by or best before date should also be printed on the label. If there are any specific conditions for storage, those should be included in the food label. In addition, the name and address of the manufacturer, packer and or seller should be present on the package. In case of imported fruits, the country of origin should be mentioned. In addition, the weight or the volume of the food product should be printed as well as the instruction for use should also be printed on the label. In certain cases, there can be cooking instructions given or different recipes given for using the food product. So this is the example of a packaging. If you see here, in the right hand side corner on the top is the vegetarian symbol. Then you have the nutritional fact list or panel which included different contents such as energy, protein, carbohydrate, etc. You should have the ingredients list which is in descending order of the ingredients by weight. Example, puff rice is 40% in weight, which will be followed by split gram, that is 20%. Certain allergy declarations should also be mentioned on the package such as peanut allergy or nuts allergy or any dairy products, that should be mentioned as allergy declaration. The complete name and address of the manufacturer should be present. Then you have your net quantity, if it is weight in grams or volume. Also the registration and license number, the best buy or use before date, also pricing and batch number and date of manufacture should be included in the package. In addition, you can also have labels to track the food items. And here you can see it is mentioning the type of food item it is. It is a ready to eat crisp Indian savory snack, or it can be ready to drink juice. So this completes our chapter for packaging of food products. Thank you.